Hello, welcome back to the JoJo series, and in this video we are going to be making barrage effects. So here we're going to be using Bezier curves. But first I need to explain what lerping is, because Bezier curve uses lerping. So let me copy this lerp formula in the dev forums. You can search up Roblox Bezier curves. Okay, let's create a script, paste this in, and let's create a lerp. Let's create a parts. Hold on, let's create two parts. So this is the start point, start part, and part. Red and green. Okay, now let's create a new part. I'll just name this part. So in the script I'll do for I equals 1 10 do, so that it will loop 10 times. Local position 0 p0 equals workspace dot start part dot position equal p1 equals workspace dot end part dot position. So the part 0 is the start part 1 is the end part. Now we also need time. So time is local t equals I divided by the maximum loop, which is 10. In this case it's 10. Let me create a new variable for this. Max loop 10. So it'll loop 10 times. Okay, so in each loop it'll do something like this. The time will be 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, and so on. Because for lerping, the lerping formula, the maximum amount of time is 1 and it starts at 0. And let's do a wait. And then the workspace.part will set the position to lerp position 1, position 0, position 1, and the time. Hold on, let's try this out. As you can see, let me try this again, but except I'll do a wait before this starts. 5 starting lerp. I'll add in 1 second. Alright, starting lerp. Then it goes from here to here to here, 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 and then the end position. Okay, so let me explain what this is. But first let me try to create more loop. Let's do 30. Actually, max loop. And let me reduce the weight. So this will create more positions because there are 30 more frames. Let's try this again. See? It's smoother now because I added more loops. Okay, so let me do a quick explanation. This is the start position and this is the end position. The frame, the max loop is 10, so it loops 10 times, right? And in lerping, the maximal time is 1 and the minimum time is 0. Time 0. So in each loop we put in the formula lerp position 1, position 0, position 1, and the time. Time is 1 divided by the max loop, which is 10. I divided by the max loop, which is 10. So which means if the index is 10, then the time will be 1. If the index is 1, then the time will be 0. Actually no, the time will be 0.1. Now because the max loop is 10, or the max index is 10, it's going to create the position 10 times. So the final position is at 1, and it starts at 0.1 because 1 divided by 10 is 0.1. So this 0.1, and it'll loop 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 is the final loop. So it'll do this. Alright, now what does this have to do with Bezier curves, you might ask? So in Bezier curves, it uses two lerps. So here is what Bezier curves looks like. This is the first position, this is the second position, and this is the final position. Here, first position, and then second position, and this is the final position. Now what this does is just like in the image, it creates a lerp in position 1 and position 0, position 1 and position 0. It creates a lerp with position 1 and position 2, and in that lerp it creates another lerp. So like this, it creates 3 lerps. The green one is the final lerp. So lerp 1, hold on, let me create a line. So this is lerp 1, this is lerp 2. It creates at the same time, by the way. Lerp 2 and lerp 3. And then lerp 3, which starts at this, the first position, and the first position of P0 and the first position of P1. So it starts right here and then goes to this. So it creates some sort of curve like this. There we go, like the image. Now this is the formula. It creates 3 lerps, but there's a simpler formula like this. So just copy this. So let's just create a new dummy. I'll copy this and I'll just barraging dummy. Let's add a script. There we go. Now let's do a loop for I. Let's do max index or max loop, whatever you want to call it. Max index 10, 1, max index 2. You can start at 1, you can start at 0, but I prefer to start at 1. So the first loop starts at index 1. And let's clone the arm. So local arm. First let's reference the character, the barrage dummy. Local dummy equals script.parent. Local dummy root part equals dummy humanoid root part. There we go. I will set this to caps. Okay, dummy. Let's do right arm first, and we'll do a more complicated stuff later. Oops. Clone arm.anchor equals true. Arm can collide is false. And we'll set the parent to the workspace. Actually, I'll just set the parent to dummy. There we go, we have our arm. So now we can do a Bezier curve. It needs position 0, position 1, and position 2. So let's create the position 0. Dummy root part dot position. The position 1, which is this, like the curve. Dummy root part dot position. Let's vector3 dot new. 0, 0, 0, or minus 0.3. Let's do minus 5 or something. Okay, and local p2 equals dummy position. So it's in. I want to make it in front of the dummy 5 studs. 0, 0, minus 5, and we'll just do arm dot position equals quadratic Bezier. P0, P1, and P2. There we go. Let's do a weight. Let's just do task.weight, and let's put this inside of a loop. Let's create an interval 1 second, so it creates the arm every 1 second. Actually no, we'll do the interval stuff later. I forgot to put in time, so let's do time I divided by max index. So yeah, don't forget to put in time, and then the position 0, position 1, and position 2. So now this is what it looks like. Hold on, something went wrong. Oh yeah, I'll just clone this in the loop. There we go. Okay, so it looks like this. Arm of the script. Okay, let's destroy the arm. So now this looks like this, but the problem with this is that it's not relative to the barraging dummy, so it just uses it just subtracts it with -5 or just adds it with -5, but it doesn't care about the dummy's position. To do that, you have to add in cframe.look vector or cframe.side vector and all that stuff. But I saw this YouTuber, his name is GoodDev. As you can see, it's still going forward even though the barraging dummy is going backwards. His name is GoodDev, and he uses attachments, so I'll be doing that. You can call this a little inspiration. The attachments. So you need the position 1 left. I'll change this to visible. Let's duplicate this. Position 1 right. Remove the negative, and I'll set the left arm color to red, and I'll set the right arm color to blue. There we go. And I'll set the position 2. Hold on. Attachment, position 2. There we go. Now we set this to let's create a new variable. Local attachment 1. Let's do right first. Dummy root part dot attach dot p1 right. Local a1 left. Dummy root part dot p1 left. Local a2 equals dummy root part dot p2. So let's just do this. A1 right dot position and A2 dot position. Actually no, world position, because the position is just relative to the dummy's position, it's just an offset. But with the world position, it's the actual position. So let's do world position for the attachments. And now this should work. Alright, there we go. As you can see, it's curving, but I want it to face forwards. So let's turn the X to 90 degrees. So instead of doing the position, I'll just do something like this. Local position, and I'll set the C-frame of the arm equals C-frame.new position, and times and multiply it with C-frame.angles, and I want it to face 90 degrees forwards. But we'll need to do math.rad because C-frame.angles requires radians. So we need to get the radian of 90 degrees, and this should work. But it's not really curving much. So let's do something like this. Let's create a new variable for the direction. Copy this, paste this here, direction, and it didn't work because the direction should be a bit late with the position. It should be a bit lower than the position. So let's do minus 0.1, minus 0.1. As you can see, it curves now. Alright, now let's say you want to change the max index or you want to change the interval. Okay, so let's create a function. So we could put this inside of a function. We could put the create arm. Let's put this inside of a function. Put this here. Let's do task, let's spawn create arm, and let's wait the interval, so it'll create the arm every 1 second. And I'll be adding more variables such as duration, but I'll be touching on that later. And let's also do the transparency. So arm.transparency equals time, because the max transparency is 1 and the minimum transparency is 0, just like Lerping. And for the duration, because I want this to be as long as the duration, right? So right now, currently, if I add in more index, if the index is, let's say, 100, it's going to be automatically longer, because the wait duration isn't relative to the duration that I want it to be. So I need to do something like this. Task.wait duration divided by max index. So let's say the duration is 1. Okay, I want this to be 1 second. I want this to last for 1 second, and the max index is 10. Because there's 10 frames or 10 loops, I need to make the total duration 1 second. Then I'll have to wait 0.1 second, because 1 divided by 10 is 0.1, right? It's simple math. And let's say I want this to be 100 loops or 100 indexes, and I want the duration to be still be 1 second. So I need to wait 0.01 second, right? And let's try this out. As you can see, it's a little slower now because I set duration to 1, and because I want to be more customizable, I'll set the max index to dummy, get attribute max frame. For the duration dummy, get attribute duration dummy, get attribute interval. So I want you guys to mess around with the properties, the settings and stuff, so you can pick what's actually right for you, to pick the numbers, because without adding attributes, it'll be harder to set the settings, because you'll have to stop the script and set the variable again and again. So yeah, it'll be annoying, but if you use attributes, you can change the settings in real time. So I'll set the max frame to 10. I'll set the duration. Make sure the type is number, by the way. The type is number and the duration is 1. The interval, and the interval is 1. There we go. Now I want this to be for the right arm and the left arm. So let me do something like this. In the while loop, I'll do local L_r. It means left right. Left right will be -1. I want this to be left and right, and then left and then right. I don't want this to be random. So I'll create a new variable, parameter, left right. And in left right, I'll do left, hold on, put it here, left right. And in the create arm, I want to set left right left right times equals -1. So it means left right equals left right times -1. This means if the left right is -1 and we create the arm, it'll be 1, and then therefore something isn't right. Okay, I just need to set the left right here, left right. So this is left right parameter, left right lr underscore p. There we go. Now this should work. So this creates -1, and this will turn this to 1, and then this will turn this to -1. We'll just keep doing that. Now in the script, we're going to be checking if left right is 1, then it's going to clone the right arm. But we need to declare the arm first, local arm, and then arm, right arm, else we'll do the left arm. So if it's -1, then it's going to do the left arm. And let's create a new variable again for the a1. a1 equals a1 right, and then here a1 equals a1 left. There we go, left. Hold on, it's not changing. I think I misunderstood this. So let's just do the left right times equals left right parameter. There we go. Now it updates the left right variable. And we don't need to put in this parameter. Actually we do. Actually we don't. Actually no, we don't need this, because this is outside of the while true do loop. So let's do this -1. Yeah, I misunderstood this. Okay, there we go. Right. Oh, it's supposed to be a1 that position, because we changed the a1 and the a1 right is constant. Okay. What? Oh, it's dot world position, that's why. Okay, there we go. Now this works. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right. There we go. Now if you want to add in random y, and set this to a table, and the first value is -2 and the second value is 2, because we're going to be using math.random. So p1 plus vector3.new 0 random 0 math.random math.random random y 0 random y 1. This we cannot create into the attribute. Actually you can. Is there a table here? Number range? No, I don't think so. So you can create this into an attribute if you want it to be. So you can change the settings in real time. There's an error. Wrong number of arguments. What do you mean? Oh, there we go. Oh yeah. I'm supposed to set this outside of this. Okay. Now it should work. There's still an error. Number expected got null. Random y is, oh yeah, it's 1 and 2. Now I forgot this is Lua, and Lua starts at 1 instead of 0. Oh yeah, my bad, my fault. There we go. Now this works. So it creates a random y. So I'll just set the random y here. Because it's in the loop, it constantly changes. So random y. And then let's put in the random y right here. There we go. Now this should work perfectly fine. I forgot to close this. Okay, now this should work. Okay, now we can just apply this to the actual barrages. You can set the adjust the frames if you want to. I want to add in 24 frames. I want the duration to be 0.1. It's fast. Set the interval to 0.1. What? Oh yeah, because this doesn't update, so I'll have to put this put the variable inside of the loop so that it updates. Put this here and put this here. There we go. Now the values should update. I want this to be faster, so I'll set the duration to 0.1. Okay, I'll set the max frame to 24 so it's smoother. It's a bit slower because Roblox weight system is a bit clunky, so it's not actually consistent, it's not accurate. And I want the interval to be shorter to 0.1 so it creates a lot of barrages. Yeah, you can also set a random X. But this actually no, it's random Z, not random X, random Z. So for the position 1, for the position 0 I meant. And if you want this to be, if you want to add in a variation to the Z axis, so you can just do something like this: position 0 plus vector v.new 0 0 random Z. There we go. Now it's time we apply this to the barrages. There we go, there's random Z. It can camp behind the barrage dummy and stuff, but it's weird, you know. You can choose to add this if you want to random Z axis. So yeah, you can choose to add that if you want to or not. I'll set this to -1 and 1. Okay, so you need to create a module in replicated storage, just like the previous videos, because this requires client effects, because I'm going to be doing this in the client, because as you can imagine, it's going to be pretty laggy. So yeah, I need the client to handle that. Okay, barrage effects. As you can imagine, looping 24 times or looping 100 times per 0.1 second isn't quite I'm sorry, there's fireworks in the background, please excuse me. Okay, we're going to copy this in barrage effects, create a module table and then return it. So I'll just remove this. And I'll do this, put this in create arm, and a stand. We need the stand, so it's stand, and the max index, duration, and all that stuff is going to be here. You can set this to anything you want. So this is going to be constant. You can't change this around unless you want to add in a parameter for this. But because I'm going to be reusing the same settings for every single barrages, I'm just going to be doing this. Max index 24, duration 0.1, the interval hold on, the interval is 0.1 as well. So you can just change the settings around if you're not satisfied with any of the settings. And let's do stand, replace all this with stand. And then let's create a function function module dot apply effects. Okay, let's create a table for active effects. So we're going to be making this a debug type of stuff. So we put the character or the stand inside of active effects, right? And if it already is inside of active effects, then it's going to be it's not going to run this function, and it's going to do while true do, but instead of true, it's going to do if instead of while the stand is instead of active effects, it's going to do all this. So yeah, let's copy this, remove this. If active effects stand, then return end, and then active effects stand. Oh my god, these fireworks, bro. It's true. And then we can do function module dot remove effects stand active effects stand equals nil. There we go. And let's put this in task.spawn function. So this is on a different thread, so it's not yielding any scripts below the apply effects. Actually, I forgot I wanted to do this in the client, so let's add in a remote event. I actually forgot. Oops. Effects remote. I genuinely forgot. Let's create run service variable. If run service on is client, then local remote script wait for the child effects remote dot on client event connect function. So you put this above all this, put this inside of here, inside of is client. Actually, we'll change that later, and put this above here. We do this here. You don't need to put this inside of a task.spawn, and mode firewall clients stand. And let's make a new table for this, but instead it's going to be in the client, but client effects. Put in the parameter stand, create arm stand. We'll do the same check here. Client effects stand, client effects stand. Actually, just don't need this because we're doing all this in the client. Here I'll set a boolean false and true. Create a boolean bool. If bool, then if it's true, then it's going to fire this. Else, it's going to do client effects stand equals nil. And for the LR and stuff, we'll just do something like this. Create the LR here. Hold on, let me think. How do you do this? So I think the way to do this is you just do this LR and then you just do this, right? LR in here. In here, you create the LR equals -1, and we'll do LR times equals -1. I think that's the best way to do it. Let's put in LR as well. Hold on, I did it wrong. That's one. Create arm. Hold on. Okay, create arm. The stand and the LR. There we go. And it's while client effects stand 2. There we go. Okay, now in barrage handler, let's see if this works. I'm hoping this works. Let's go to surface storage, modules, barrage handler. Let's also require this in the client. Start your scripts, acquire game. Okay, local barrage effects, acquire game dot replicate storage dot modules dot barrage effects, and here we do barrage effects dot apply effects to the stand, and here barrage effects remove effects to self.character stand. Okay, let's see if this works. Okay, it's the moment of truth. Let's run it this 1.3.3. Okay, the moment of truth. Oops, it's supposed to be play, not run. Oh yeah, I forgot. You need to add in the attachments to the stands. Duplicate this and put it inside of your stands. Hold on. Oops. Just need to copy this. Copy and the stands. Paste into and paste into. There we go. It's not run. Pressing run. Okay. Let's see if this works. Barrage. Okay, there's an error. Subset index null character. Oh, I pressed self. I tapped in self instead of self. Okay. Now this should work. Again. Okay, there's an error. P1. Okay, so let's do stand root part, stand dot primary part. So it's root part, stand root part, stand root part, stand root part, and this is stand root part. Okay, now this works. Okay, it works once. Thread expected. Isn't create a arm a function? Function. Yeah, let's just do this then. Create arm stand LR. I guess you can put in parameters instead of task.spawn. Okay, this works, but I don't like these particles here, so let me do let's go to the summon handler. I want the aura to be in my character, not in my stand. So let's do, instead of get descendants, get children, and in monkey supreme I'll do this as well. cat children. There we go. Now this should be clean. And okay, that's it for this video. That was a pretty simple video. It's not anything complicated. It only took long because of the explanations. And yeah, this looks pretty cool. I will see you later.